it says it's starting. I've got to go around putting up my chat. Don't know if I can do that beforehand, but yeah. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Zeke here, and we are back to some more Edge of the Empire, Relics of a Time Past. What is this, episode 11 or 12 for this season?
Oh,
I believe it's 11.
Yeah, we're quite a few. This is going on a lot longer than I thought it would, but I decided to kind of like cut some down. There's only one more act, but these two acts are going to be quite large. Either way, get back to the game here. Let's see. Last time, they moved the Skylark up to... No, I didn't put it down. The Rebel platform. Not the Rebel. The Republic forward outpost, mini forward outpost for repair and whatnot. Cleared out what they could with Rose, Mrez, and Deseret. And it's now safe to get up there. They found some things to work on it. Some of it's not working right, but enough of it to possibly do some stuff. Some of the arms not quite meant for this model and kind of stuck, so manual control only, if I remember right. Plus programming degradation. Yeah, Desert is still sitting on the bridge. Oh yeah, they didn't leave just yet, unless that got moved. There's Rose and Mrez actually started going off somewhere. And that's about where we ended it, with Leo and Ileana also. You were playing with the crane, then I think you guys went over to find those hover lifts to, you know, move the heavy parts, right?
Yep. That's correct.
Yeah, so we're about ready to set up. Real quick, let's go ahead and get our intro, which I completely forgot to read. Sorry.
No worries. There was one. I forgot to make one update. What was the direction again?
Wasn't it west by northwest?
Okay. Sorry, give me just a second. All right. Ready when you guys are. Captain's audio log, 10/3/19. This will be a short entry. There's lots to be done, and I need to get to it. We made it back to the Old Republic outpost. Rose, Miraz, and I scouted out the base before bringing the Skylark here. Given its age and the local wildlife, the outpost is in remarkably good shape. Not that I'm about to set up shop here, but there's enough to patch up the worst of Skylark's damage and hopefully get her space-worthy again. During our scouting mission, Rose befriended a Felucian native. Unlike the mutated creatures that attacked us on the Skylark, this one seemed curious about our presence and didn't attack us on sight. While we couldn't speak its language, it seemed to be able to understand Rose. Maybe it had something to do with her gifts? Might be worth investigating later. Anyway, it joined us on our search of the complex, and once we had cleared the main structures, we did a bit of scavenging. Rose made out like a hut. Lucky girl managed to find a bottle of Teresian whiskey. The good stuff, too. Must be well over 100 years old, and untouched by the Felucian environment. I found a few trinkets myself, a marked Pizak deck, a holy backpack to replace the one I lost on Tanab, and a hard drive, been stashed in a hidden compartment. If I recall, Doc has some skill with old computer tech. I should have him take a look at the hard drive when he's up for it. Speaking of old computer tech, it appears Leo has had a change of heart, or circuits? I don't know. After the rebel ship blasted off, I found Leo helping Illy in the engineering bay. While I sincerely wish he had gone, I admit, given Illy's condition, we could really use his help. The Skylark's a wreck. Barely made it to the landing pad at the outpost. And even when we got here, the aft landing gear refused to deploy correctly. Illy and Leo are working on it now. What I wouldn't give for a proper astromech droid. Preferably one that won't talk back to me. Oh well. Until the Skylark is fixed, we can't get far. If Illy and Leo can get us space-worthy, maybe we can limp back to the Star Dock that Doc's friend owns. Before we leave, I'd like to try and find the rest of the pieces of that artifact. Rose mentioned she felt or sensed something to the northwest of here, I think. Might leave Leo and Illy behind to fix the ship and take care of Doc while Rose, Mirrors, and I go track down that artifact. I still don't trust Mirrors completely, but he has been remarkably helpful since escaping Tanab. And for the moment, the three of us are the only ones in any shape to take on the local wildlife. Too bad the Republic troops didn't leave a transport in this old outpost. Would have made getting around a lot easier. Oh, one last note. My stores of Carillion ale have run out. Without it, the nightmares are returning. I'll need to stock up again at our next port of call. Maybe I can pick up something stronger too. That whiskey Rose found looks tempting as hell. End recording.
Nice.
Awesome.
Quick question for a dice call. So I'm gonna snag Jonas's die here and put it near Tuff and Jonas. If everyone can see this red die here. If it lands... Oh, wait, hold on.
I see no red die.
You don't see the red die under my hand?
Oh, the black die. Oh, yes. Okay. Your hand is blocking most of it.
It kind of says here, but I don't... Oh, a combination? Okay. Mine doesn't have this tooltip on it for some weird reason. Okay. So... I just answered my own question. Hold on a second.
That's always good.
Is it though?
I will try not to be a confused Lance on whatever this is about.
Given the question, I'm guessing he was trying to determine if something triggered or not. Too light for desert, by the way.
Yeah, I rolled a dark.
Same.
Too light?
So 2 dark, 4 light, or 3 dark, 4 light?
I have 2 light. Overkill has 2 light. Lance got 1 dark, and Tuff got 1 dark.
And I got a dark, so
Yep.
3 dark, 4 light.
Relatively balanced this go around.
So I'm gonna guess it's the trauma that has been going on, and the head injury, possibly bringing up the old memories again that she has tried to hide. Everyone take 1 strain for this episode. Ileana takes 2.
Boy, okay.
I think I still had the strain from last episode. I don't know if that cleared or not, but I'll make it as 2.
I was about
And
to
1
say,
point.
last episode, no obligation rolled, so whatever strain you gained from then was actual strain from the campaign.
Yep.
Also, Lance, correct me if I'm wrong, but Leo still has your toolkit, right?
You still have her toolkit and her blaster, yes.
Okay. Zeke,
Yeah.
I will be PMing you shortly.
Okay. Since it wasn't actually stated in game, Abe still had Leo's blaster, but gave it back to him before leaving.
Okay.
Just as a clarification. Either way, tough. Help me remember
Yes.
here. I did say west by northwest, right? For what you felt.
Yes. I
Okay.
actually put a little, I put a little squiggle there.
That's east.
Then that's where it was.
Okay, well, let's put a compass on this board somewhere.
If I
I
said
mean, it can be west.
yeah, if I said
Okay,
east,
I
I
put the
screwed
squiggle there.
up. If I said east, I screwed up. But we could also be looking at the board in two different directions.
So let's have somebody put a compass down, preferably the GM, so that we know where we're supposed to be looking.
If only there was a compass. Hold on.
I'm
It's
on
a
it.
square board. Pick a direction.
Exactly.
I'd say pointing toward Desert is north, but
Yeah, that's how I. Yeah.
Well, that's just how Desert is. Always on the up and up.
if only saying it would make it so. What?
All right, there's a compass on the board.
Ah, perfect.
All right, cool. That'll work. So, yeah,
So
general
it's there instead.
squiggle in the
West by
direction.
northwest, yes.
All right, cool. Well, it doesn't change a thing because I'm still going that way.
Yeah, I don't remember where Rose and Mira's were. You heard Desric give his opinion in the log, what he was thinking, but no one ever really consults with Desric anyways.
Oh, you were told by, I believe, Rose, hey, we're going to check something out.
Oh, was I?
Yep.
Yep, so
Yes.
you did have some consult.
Did I tell them to go along, or did I tell them I was coming with them? I honestly don't
I
remember
think
at
you
this
just
point.
said, okay, be careful. Because I know you weren't going with them, but something along those lines of, oh, all right, just be careful.
Yeah, Desric was probably more concerned about the Skylark at that time.
I'm trying to get the scene in my head. It is night, that's for sure. Leo and Ileana are going across the landing pad, the repair pad, whatever you want to call it, from the I guess platform or overlooking where they were, where they had the controls, to the part where they see, I believe I said two hover loaders. I don't know. I don't know what to call them. They hold heavy machinery. They're going over there to check, see if they still work and how to get them moving and all that. Desert, I assume by this point you were making the log in the cockpit.
Yep.
So I don't think too much is going to happen at the Skylark. So we'll hop over to Rose and Mrez. So, the base is actually quite lit up, and it's got some lights that shine around it, but not into the fungal forest around you. It doesn't take too long to get outside of the safe feeling, I guess you would call it, of the lights, and it becomes once again pitch black. With the lights behind you, but the fact that there is lights, it kind of makes the area look darker than what it is because your eyes are having a harder time to adjust. That said, 2 force sensitives going out. This is going to be an interesting time on a force planet. Either way, before you looms, kind of dense forest to your to directly in front of you, if you're going west, to your north, clears out into kind of an interesting opening. But there is, right about up here, kind of like a mountain, so to speak. Not huge, like you would normally speak a mountain, kind of like a small version of it. But out of everything here, it actually has no fungus on it, which is an interesting little development on this planet, because everything has it on it. And that's about what you can see right now.
Alrighty. I'm just gonna keep going. Yeah, keep going as close to the spot that I felt as I can.
Alright, so Mirez is just going to follow you, because he didn't sense anything. So I'll let you move the tokens.
I wanna, as we get closer and closer, and I can see buildings and stuff. I wanna like start stealthing, see if I can, and make sure if anyone's here that I'm not seen.
You have yet to see any kind of building, but you do move into the dense forest, woods, whatever you want to call it. The wildlife here isn't much. You can hear it, but it's nothing large. And it's more like the nighttime sounds, but they are very faint in comparison to some of the places you've been. You continue to go through, but you still have yet to find anything of importance or anything of interest. You do still hear cackling or laughter once in a while, but sometimes it's hard to sense where it's at. Other times you kind of get the feeling that you're getting close.
Alright, I'm gonna keep going forward until I'm as close to said spot as I can during the night.
You still see nothing that looks important. At this point, Mirez kind of stops and looks around and back to you. Are you sure we're going in the right direction? I'm still sensing nothing.
Yeah, this was the right. That's what I thought was right. I say we cark it in. It's not going to be of any use to us. And I just want to have a look around, see if anything unusual stands out.
Nothing unusual, but the sounds you've been hearing have been fading more and more.
Yeah, let's head back to the ship.
Alright, so heading back.
And I'm going to start making my way back. Yep, just all the way back.
Alright. As you start going back the way, the sounds of Felucia start picking back up. And you make your way to the ship. During that time, Leo and Illy have gotten to the hover thingies. And as you mess with them, they still work. Though it kind of took a little bit to get the hovering mechanism to actually function correctly. Not gonna make you do a roll. You both are mechanics.
Yeah, though, before we do that, how far away from the ship are we?
I'd say maybe medium range at this point.
Given Can Desric see us from where we are?
Are you behind? I thought the station was. I don't know. It depends on where the station, the little controller's console is in relation to the ship.
Yeah. I'm trying to get a decent visual. The ship would be facing to the north, as north and south is about the only place they seem to have a area where large vehicles can go up and across due to the natural landscape. And to the west is basically where the tower was. So the platform that they were originally on was behind the ship. And where they moved to is about over here, so Desric would have to actually get to an awkward position to see behind them.
Okay.
But that's visual.
So, yeah.
He can actually see you on the sensors if he so desired.
Oh, he wouldn't be able to see what I'm about to do on sensors. So Leo turns to Ilya and he goes, Miss Ileana,
Yes?
I have a non-unusual request.
What is it?
I have identified a possible cavity within my system that will allow me to hide an object within it of the size of a blaster pistol.
All right.
I wish you to assist me in vacating that cavity so that I can place an object, if it needs to be hidden, at any opportunity.
I'm sure I can help out with that.
If we find another piece of the artifact, for instance, we can place it on my person within my chest cavity, and then it will not be taken by persons that seek to work against the safety of your daughter.
That sounds like a definite plan to me. All right.
He's going to hand over the tools.
All right. She will, I guess she'll operate under his guidance because, it's him.
Yeah, so yeah, he directs her to the portion in which he can remove some stuff. So like his chest plate comes off, and then he directs her to a portion that would probably fit her blaster pistol.
Perfect. Okay. I think I see where you're going with this. She won't need any of these components.
Not at all. I have rerouted every other process around this system.
All right. Maybe you haven't noticed I'm a fan of redundancies. If we can find a way to, I don't know, put it back somewhere else.
Yes, perhaps. Right now, it is not necessary.
All right. Fair enough.
I plan to upgrade this body as I can. Right now, this is what we require.
I understand.
I will not make the same mistake that I made with Jade.
Nor I. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, yeah, she will finish up, I guess.
Yeah, I can't see any roll that has to be made to make this compartment, so...
No, it's simply just Leo deciding where it is, and that's where it is. I just figured we would need to do that in character, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a 15 minutes is all it takes.
So yeah, once So once he's done that, he's going to take the extra parts and place them in his bag.
Cool.
Let's get to work then.
All right. I think I've almost got this sled ready to go. How's yours?
Yes. I've seen these put into practice on multiple occasions.
All right. Give me a few seconds more here, and then we'll get these back over to the ship. We can start hauling some of the heavy equipment around.
So I guess at this point, Desert's probably going to come over to Illy and Leo. Hey, the ship still feels like it's at quite an angle. Have we managed to get that docking clamp?
Not yet, but we have a plan. We're working on it.
Okay, should I continue to stand by in the cockpit, or do you need me out there?
Honestly, if anything else goes wrong, it's better if you're at the controls to do something about it.
Right. Okay. Desert keys off the bike and goes, well, I guess I'll just sit here a while longer.
All right, so fast forward or anything else?
I don't have
Oh, no,
anything
this
else.
is
I was
fine.
just providing some comic
Yeah,
relief.
no, I was asking the other two.
Nothing else I can think of.
All right, so it doesn't take you too long to fix up the hover lifts, and doesn't take you all that long to get them back over to the Skylark. After all, there's virtually no weight on these things. So you get it back over there. There's only two that you have found. Whether you want to look around for more or not, that's up to you. You're out into the Skylark, and you can put them wherever you feel like you need to. If I remember right, it was the rear port landing gear.
Can I do a calculation in my head as to like the weight of the YT and where precisely these should go?
I believe that was like what, an intelligence roll or an education roll.
Education. Yeah, okay.
As I recall, Leo is pretty much designed to be assigned to this ship. He'd probably have that info somewhere in his databanks.
Yeah, but he has the info of the weight. Then he's got to calculate all the added weight that you put on there. The weight loss from damage, and then where to put all these things.
Yeah, he's guesstimating. 3.2.
Okay, so with it being on the port side, and you only need to lift it up just enough, generally putting it on just either side of the thruster on the back of the kind of like, if the thing is there, the landing gear, it needs to be fixed, just sticking the weight things out here and here, and just lifting it up slowly, be just fine.
Yeah, so he's going to direct Illy to do that, along with him.
Okay, she will do so.
Should be more than sufficient.
All right, so you get things into place, you get ready. You see, Leo suggests, letting them go up and then have a program where they link together to work together and assist, push up at the same time for about, to raise it about a good 10 feet on that side. That should be enough, just enough to get to where you need to be for the landing gear. So you get that set up, fly across it, no programming needed because that's what these things are set for. And the Skylark begins to lift. Desric, you feel the ship evening out, then kinda going the other direction, and then just stops.
I think
Okay.
we would be kind enough to let you know before that happens.
Hopefully. And I want to try and redeploy the landing gear once we reach that full height.
Oh, yeah. Also, side note, I am fairly sure Leo would have made sure that Illy was out of the way before that happened.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I'm taking out the fact you're both mechanics. You both know to not be under heavy machinery as it's moving.
Yes, I was just making sure.
Well, given what our party's been through in the past and the accidents Desric has suffered with construction equipment,
You're not a mechanic, though.
Yeah, but the person who was wielding the torch was.
Yeah,
Yeah, but then again, he was also startled or taken aback by the bat.
Yeah, I'd have thought robots didn't get scared, Leo.
So, taking a bath?
I was knocked over. I don't know so much about being scared. Wait, you were the one that was scared.
Yeah, Desric was scared first. Then the second time, Leo, you failed your discipline check and you started kind of swinging that thing around.
Yeah, Desric got scared earlier on, so he let the robot go first. The robot tried to go into the hole, and bad things happened.
Either way, Desric, you're told about it. Leo and, Illy are out of the way. Once it's up, Desric, you take a look at the info panel for the landing gear, and it still says inoperable. So, poking it's gonna do nothing.
Great. So Desric will come back to Leo and Illy. Okay, I can feel that we're more leveled out, but the console still says the landing gear is inoperable. Do I need to head back to the engineering space, or one of you two want to come look at this?
Yeah, it's fine. We just needed to get the ship righted to the point where I can get at the internals for the landing gear.
I do believe one of the maintenance crew has checked on what's wrong with the landing gear, and what it was is something is just kind of getting in the way, and then when that happened, it pulled some electrical systems and semi-fried the little CPU there, so it's going to take a bit of mechanics to get that fixed, moved out of the way, and a little bit of reprogramming to get it to where it works.
Yeah.
Around this time, Rose and Merez reappear.
Hey, you two, did you find anything?
Nope.
Lots of fungus.
Damn it.
Rose looks very disappointed at herself.
What happened?
It was nothing. Unfortunately. She's just going to make her way inside the Skylark.
Merez is still out there. As Rose goes up, he looks over to Illy. There's definitely something on this planet, and with what she said, there's two things here. One we're looking for, and then something else. Most likely, it's kind of throwing everyone for a loop here. I would say it's probably a better idea to look during the day. Let's work on the ship, get it fixed. Maybe we can use its sensors to find something.
Alright. Well, we're almost done here, but could use some help in the engineering section for a moment. How are you with a hyperspanner? Zeke?
Interference. Sorry, what happened?
Okay, no worries. Ellie was just asking how he is with a hyperspanner.
How who is?
Merez.
Oh, Merez. I know how to do base maintenance on weapons and gear.
Well, that's a start. Maybe take a look at the upper turret, see if there's anything we can do to fix it.
Miss Ileana,
Yes?
how much power cabling do we have on the ship? To spare, that is.
Uh, to spare, not much.
If
We'd
we
probably
can
have to
get...
pull.
Go on, sorry.
We'd have to pull from other systems at the moment.
If we can get the computers on inside the base, we might be able to pull either some information that they had gathered during the Clone Wars, or at the very least some terrain maps. And from the terrain maps, we can possibly determine if there's any structures that are hidden within the forest.
It's definitely worth looking into.
It would at the very least give us somewhere to search.
All right. I think I can handle what's left of the landing gear. If you can start the search for that information.
What I'll do is I'll go and reprogram the landing gear for preparation for its reactivation, and then I'll go and see about the computers in the base.
All right. Do me a favor, don't go alone.
If Rose isn't doing anything, I'll take her with me.
All right.
It's times like these
She
that I
has-
wish...
She's not outside anymore.
Yeah, he's like, it's times like these that I wish I had a gonk droid with me.
But you do have Sir.
Sir is a remote. He doesn't have the power capabilities of a gonk droid.
True.
This is what they were built for. And then he goes off and wanders into the ship to find the main computers.
All right.
Real quick, and I'm sorry for this. I don't know if anybody's actually played Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds, but the fact we're using the map here and they actually had gonk droids that produce power in a radius that they can walk around just instantly made me go to this. It's like, oh god, I want to play.
The good old days.
Okay, so once Merez realized that nothing about that dealt with him, he kind of went inside, started going up to the turret.
Okay.
Beyond that, what are you guys doing?
Ellie's gonna go screw away her portion of what's left of the gear. And she's planning to have a chat with Merez at some point, but we need to fix the ship first.
Alright, so Leo, you were going to find Rose, is that what you said?
No, I'm going to the main computers to reprogram the hydraulics.
Okay, so you're going to do the reprogramming, Ellie's going to do the maintenance work, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so Ileana, give me some maintenance. Or mechanics.
All right, this I can do.
Do you have anything that removes a setback?
I believe I have 3 setbacks. Hang on. Remove 2 setbacks from all mechanical checks.
Done.
Two, 3, 4 success, 2 advantage.
Alright, so you get in. Doesn't take you too long. You quickly figure out what got in the way. Piece of metal that just kind of sheared off. Probably it came from the sudden jolt of a rock hitting the back of the ship and flipping it over. But you get that point pulled out. You get the cables kind of reattached. You see what's fried a bit. You take that part off, reroute it. You're going to need to actually replace it to have this thing working at 100%. Until then, it's going to descend and
Retract.
That's it. Slower. Not super slow, but if you land too quickly and forget about it, you're going to tilt and it's going to push you up. Or it could snap again. If it's too much.
Okie doke. Then I guess we can call that good, and we're waiting on Leo for the reprogramming.
Ooh. That's my worst roll in a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
At least
You
with the
taking
potatoes
lessons
anyway.
from Desert?
Keep it or no?
Given what might be coming up for him in regards to the database, I'm going to say no this time.
So, what do you mean no this time?
I'm not re-rolling it.
Okay. So, 1-3. Alright, so you get into the programming, and you immediately see as she's pulling the wires out and replacing them, you immediately see on the control panel what she's rerouting. And whether you're playing with the, using your fingers or just directly connecting it, I don't know how Leo does it. He gets it set up quite quickly, actually. It doesn't take a few seconds. It was actually quite simple. And Desric, you now see a ping on your board saying landing gear is fully operational. Retract it, then extend to reset it.
Do I have to? Oh, okay, so I have to retract and extend it.
Yep. So just press button. Press button.
Okay, so I'll quickly over the comm. Oh, that looks like it may have gotten it. Standby 1, and I'm going to press the button and try to retract it, then re-extend it.
And Illy, you see the thing go back into the ship and then come back out. You notice that, yeah, it's slow.
All right, so far so good. It's going to operate a fair bit slower compared to the other landing gears, so keep that in mind if you're going to touch down again.
Yeah, give it a little extra time before we bring it down. Gotcha.
Right about this time, Desric, did you actually leave the doors to the cockpit open?
Yeah, at this point I probably did.
Alright, you hear the door behind you shut.
I guess I'll turn around and look.
You see Miraz just kind of walking in and just plopping down in one of the chairs. Particularly the ones leading to the turrets.
I thought those were open to space, and the top one's crushed. Am I mistaken?
One, you're in atmosphere, so it doesn't matter. He's entering the cockpit, and he's going to the panel that has temporarily been used to control the turrets.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was very confused by that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's in the cockpit with you, and he's fiddling with the turret things. The turret controls.
Probably best not to mess with those until we get a chance to repair them. The top one's smashed to bits at the moment.
Yeah, I just came from
Any
there to check it
particu-
out. Ileana wanted me to look at them. I'm pretty much just here to confirm exactly what I thought. Power supply is still good. The barrels are not bent, luckily. However, yeah, it's not going to rotate. It is bent inward on the axis. It's going to need some repair work, and that is actually beyond my skill.
Yeah, unfortunately, mine as well. But Illy and Leo seem to know what they're doing, so I guess we'll just have to give them time.
Yeah, well, I don't have your guys' comms, so figured I'd tell you and you can relay the info to them.
Wait, have we seriously never given him our comms?
Nope.
I think I've given him mine at some point.
Yeah, yours, but only yours.
Well, seeing as you're stuck with us planet side for a while, probably best you did have our comms. So Desric will give him the channel.
Oh, he plops into it. I do believe you have my comms. I gave them to you on New Haven. Or, not New Haven. Fuck. Hidden Fortune.
And let's pretend I may have forgotten them.
Okay. Bleep bleep. Sent.
Thank you. And Desric's gonna now verify. Well, I assume. Did I get a chance to verify that the gear went down
Yes, it went down.
fully? Okay. Well, it seems I can shut things down from here for now. We are at least officially landed now.
That's good. Before that scene happens, I'm going to go back to everyone else. What is everyone doing?
Oh, I just realized the base has power, doesn't it? Because you turn the generator on, which means
Yes.
that we don't need a power droid. Leo just needs to go in and we rewire some stuff. Yeah. So after a moment, is the door to Rose's meditation chamber closed?
It's my quarters.
Is it closed?
It is closed, yes.
Okay, she's getting a bang on the door.
Really? Not even using the intercom?
No. I have a feeling that Rose would probably ignore it anyway. So
I'm going to, because I'm kind of sitting on the floor, just waiting and sensing. I'm just gonna like open the door with the force and let whoever's in.
yeah, so Leo's just up there and he goes, Rose, quick
Okay.
question, and you don't have to answer because I believe I already know the answer. But have you seen one of those temples before that we saw
The
on
what?
Terrace? The temples.
Here.
No, have you seen when we were on Terrace, we saw a temple. Have you seen one of those temples off-world on a different planet before?
No, not to my knowledge. Why is that?
Because I was hoping you had, since I have a theory, and if you were able to recognize the silhouette of one of those temples, we may be able to find the ruins of a temple here based on terrain maps.
Ah,
And if I can pull one from the Republic database, and you can recognize the shape of it, we could find what we're looking for.
do I remember what the one on Taurus looked like?
Everyone does.
Everyone does. All right, cool, just
Yeah.
making sure.
Yeah, Leo's more concerned with was that typical of a Teresian building, or if there was another example that she had seen that was very similar to that. and would be
It
able to
was
judge from that
nothing like a
perspective.
Teresian building, old or new.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Okay.
Like I said, this thing was made
So-
with stone.
Well, yeah, but it's more that could have been a building unique to Taris, or it could have been, you know, there could have been another temple that she had seen somewhere else that looked like that, meaning that it was more or less from the same faction. And if there's one here too, which is what Leo thinks there is, then it would be easy to spot on a terrain map because they would have the same sort of shape on the ground.
Yeah, she just kind of shakes her head and says, "No, but if you remember the Taris one, you can start searching off that. Might be a good start."
All right, come with me. 3 eyes are better than 1 receptor.
She kind of rolls both her eyes and then walks forward, follows you.
Okay, yeah, he's going to lead her up to the control tower.
Alright, that'll be a bit. What is Illy doing?
At this point, Illy is pretty much done as far as the landing gear's finished. So yeah, she's probably back to trying to get the engines in working order as far as her planned modifications, essentially.
Alright.
Essentially, her plan is to find enough parts to get one of the engines working and try to jury-rig the other engines so that one can start all of the others in sequence.
Alright. You already know you're missing a lot of pieces. You don't know if this place has any of those pieces, so it would need to be a little bit of scouting.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's all within close range to each other. I mean, this base isn't large, but it is complete mechanical. So
True. So yeah, I think first of all, before she does anything, she's gonna go check on Pith, see how he's doing.
alright, so as you get to the door, it's closed but not locked.
Okay. She'll open it quietly if possible.
Just opens up like the normal doors. You see Pith in there, seemingly taking inventory. Hi, Miss Ileana.
Hello. I'm going to borrow a line from Leo and suggest that you should be resting.
He looks over to you. We're both in bad shape. We both need to rest, but there's no time for that.
I can't disagree. How are you doing?
My head feels like it's splitting open, but beyond that, I'm fine.
Well, fortunately, there was a medic on hand to help you. I'm not sure what to do about things the next time we're both in bad shape.
Yeah, I really need to get some stuff set up for that. Beyond that, we're missing a lot of stuff. We're down to just 2 stim packs left. A lot of my vials I've taken from this planet are still good, but nothing that would actually help us to heal anything, mostly just for killing someone who's sick.
Well, comms antenna on top of the ship was a casualty of the flip over. I'm not sure about short range comms, but is it possible your friend could help?
Yeah, as soon as we get to his station.
Alright. Well, with luck, we can find the artifact and whatever else we need to find here. We can get the heck out of here and get his help.
I hope he's still there. It's his station, so I don't think he'll ever leave it, but He has his troubles.
Are there any particular problems we should keep an eye out for?
Not that I can be aware of, at least not when we go there. Wasn't a large station, but it definitely has enough to have a repair bay, and he keeps that up to work. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, but it gets a lot of business considering where it's at. So I guess watch out for the kind who would go to it off, someplace off the charts.
Right, so pirates for sure.
Probably a bit of smugglers here and there. He tries to keep people, keep the bad crowds away, but he can't turn down everyone.
All right. Well, I don't know. Hopefully we can make some traction in the morning.
I say we really just get this done and head up there and just prepare for anything.
Agreed. Are we going to need the main engines to get us out to that station?
I'm not a mechanic, but don't we need the main engines just to get off planet?
Pretty much. I have a couple of ideas that might at least get us into orbit. But beyond that, I'm not sure.
Do you need an extra set of eyes to look around for anything we need?
An extra set of rested eyes, yes, but probably not till morning. I'd like to at least have the engines online, otherwise fuel is going to be a problem.
Alright, I'll leave it to you.
Alright.
I'm almost done checking inventory. After that, I believe I'll have a rest.
Alright. I'll be holding you to that. And she will leave him be for now.
Yeah, and I'll be holding you to a rest as well.
Yes, I know.
At that point, you leave and the door shuts. And I take it she goes back to mechanics work?
Yeah.
So, Desric and Merez in the cockpit.
So has Desric received any update from the crew as to kind of what their plans are?
Has anybody told him anything?
No.
No, yeah.
So
Just another day on the Skylark.
yeah. All right. I guess Desric will kind of look over to Mirez and say, we could keep talking over comms, or we could all just meet in the lounge and figure out what our next move is. It seems like the ship's in some bad need of repairs, and I'm guessing everybody needs a rest after the heroics of this day. I don't think anyone's slept since the attack.
No, the rest does sound good, but before we do that, and he kind of leans back in the chair, spins it around, and props his feet up on the other back chair. Let's have a chat.
I hope he's wiped his feet.
Say what?
I said, I hope he's wiped his feet.
Yeah, there's an audible sigh from Desric. Okay. Didn't take you for the particularly chatty type, at least not since our prison break on Tanab. What is it you want to talk about?
Well, a lot of important stuff has been going on, so really haven't had much time to chat, but now we seem to be in a good spot.
Desert kind of looks around at the state of the ship. Really? You consider this to be a good spot?
It's calm right now. We can actually do stuff, and even a nap seems to be on the board to be able to do. So yes, this is a good spot. A calm, the calm of the storm. And trust me, there is a storm coming up on this planet. We do need to be rested, and this conversation does need to happen.
Well, spit it out then.
I've noticed it since our reunion on New Haven. Why do I keep calling it New Haven? Hidden Fortune, Nab, and still stronger here. Might not be able to read minds like our mutual enemy, but I can definitely read emotions. Yours is all over the place, sporadic, and a bit on the dark side.
I don't know what you're making reference to. I don't have any of the gifts that you and Rose seem to possess.
You don't need our gifts to have emotions, Desiree. Your state of
Fair
mind.
enough.
You've been a little bit more reclusive, and you're fighting to just do anything right now.
Your point?
My point is we need you to focus. Let's talk about whatever's eating you.
You seem to think I have an awful lot of trust in you, Maraz, to confide my emotions with, let's face it, a strange acquaintance at best. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate the help breaking me out on Tanab, and for what it's worth, I'm still willing to work with you, especially given all that you've done to help us recently. But let's not go pretending that we're all chummy here.
I'm not suggesting it. You don't have to tell me your inner darkest secrets here, but what we're about to face could very well be another terrace. And if you break, we don't need that. See my point?
It's my ship, my crew. I'll worry about who breaks and who doesn't break. As for Terrace, I survived Terrace. I'll survive this planet.
But could you survive another plague marsh?
If I had to. There are worse things out there than a scary swamp.
You've already met that one. And there are still far scarier things than him.
That I find hard to believe.
Really? You don't suspect his master is far scarier?
Master?
Oh yes, he's on a leash.
Yeah, didn't feel like it, Desric says, rubbing his leg.
Well, his leash allows him to do certain things. But fear the master more than him.
And who's this master?
Honestly, I don't know. My boss says it has to do with maybe the Emperor or someone pulling his strings.
Seriously? The Emperor? What's an old politician got to do with that thing? Desric shudders.
Like I said, if it's not him, it's someone pulling his strings, or something else. Don't know. But if you know your history, you should know how he came to power. But let's not talk about that right now.
I was only a boy. They didn't tell me much. My parents, I mean.
There are still history books, but I guess you don't strike me as the reading type. No action.
Desric glares a little bit.
Oh, come on. You're the adventure type.
Was there a point to all this, Marez?
My point was trying to get you to open up. I can sense your emotional state. I'm trying to help, like always. The most interesting part was when we came back and you saw Leo. That was one hell of a drop in mood. Not getting along again?
He leveled a blaster at me. I would have been much happier to see him gone.
Ooh, leveled a blaster at you. Yeah, I kinda know the feeling. Our first meeting was kinda like that. But at least that was our first meeting, and this one, you've known Leo for quite some time. So he's back for something, but you're not liking that. How do you plan to deal with that?
For the moment, wait. I don't know what he's up to. But I changed the passwords. He shouldn't have access to the ship for now.
He does give quite the audible laugh. You do remember he's a hacker, or a slicer, sorry.
Well, I'm not a slicer myself. I don't have the ability to really lock him out. That's the best I could do with what I have. I'll change out the computer systems when we have a proper protocol, or when I have some more credits.
Word of advice for him. If you can't get along with him, but he still poses a use, use him for that use. Play nice. If anything, sometimes a smile gets you a little bit more than what you normally would get. And let's face it, we do need his help.
Desert kind of makes a face, but says nothing.
You're in the Outer Rim, Desric. You're fighting for your life. It's use or be used. Now, you don't have to go around, well, using them maliciously. I mean, you're using Rose. You're paying her as compensation. Think of it kind of like that.
It works a lot better when the person you're attempting to use has any interest whatsoever in preserving your life, or just, listening to you.
Perhaps.
That robot has been anything but willfully disobedient since the moment I brought him on board.
Perhaps.
Scratch that. I didn't bring him on board.
Well, Rose, you're compensating with payment. Perhaps Leo, you compensate him with allowing him to do that. At least until you have what you want with him. After that, do as you will. Your choice whether you want to be benevolent or malevolent. I'd suggest benevolent.
I'll give it some thought. Anything else?
Yes. Get some sleep and try to be in the best state of mind. Leave your darkness behind. Regardless
You know
of
how
what
odd
you
that
might...
sounds coming from you, right?
How so?
Next to Little Miss Killjoy, Desert makes a motion towards the general direction where he thinks Rose is. You're the darkest of the lot.
How so?
Oh,
I haven't
let
gone
me see.
gleefully murdering
Murder,
anybody.
torture. Oh, really? I bet Jade would beg to disagree.
I didn't kill her nor
And
torture her.
you were party to it. It's all very much the same.
I told them to stop. I have no control over them.
And yet you claim to be their leader. What does that say about you?
It's a little different. My job in this pack is to lead them to a mission or to whatever we need. I don't control them.
Sounds like you're not very good at leadership then.
That's not my role. That's our master's role. It's his rules. We've all learned to live on our own, so working together is a bit of a pain. That's all my state is. Try to keep us together, try to keep us focused. Beyond that, if they want to do something, I can't stop them. Oh, I could
Yeah.
protest, but I can't stop them.
You'll find the lack of control over one's companions severely decreases one's life expectancy.
As you just found out with Leo.
My point exactly, and why I don't want him here.
Well, I have my problems even with my group, but I've learned to control them in certain fashions. Use or be used. So far, we're close to being quite similar, Desrick. Except I've just learned how to adapt. I don't like the companions I do, but I still give a smile every day to them.
Hate to tell you this, Maris, but I'm pretty sure they see through the smile.
Whether they do or not, it makes it a little bit easier every day.
Fine. Anything else?
Yeah. Don't go east.
Go east?
Do
I thought
not
that's where
go
Rose...
east.
I thought that's where Rose sensed the... whatever it is.
Was this out of character or in character?
That was in character.
You mean the thing we went to? That was west.
Oh, sorry. Do not go east. Why? What's to the east then?
Well, apparently Rose's little friend showed her something, and I can hear it from here. In my head, of course. Yeah, it's scary.
Hear
And if it's...
it?
Yes, it's scary. And if it scares me with my abilities, it should really terrify you.
Good to know. Well, my only plan is to repair the ship and get off this rock. If we can find, or if there is even any parts of the artifact on this planet, it would be good to find that before we leave. To be honest, I don't really want to come back to this little hellhole.
You and me both, but unfortunately for me, this is a good place to hide. Either way, I'll help you get the artifact. I'll help all of you get the artifact, take it to the businessman, get Ileana's daughter back. And I guess our business will be done, unless you're willing to help us out a bit more. But I guess that would be more up to Rose. Either way, I said my piece.
One thing before you go.
Hmm?
This artifact, Rose seemed to be able to sense it. What about you?
At this point, his eyes kind of go straight up to the ceiling and he leans back a little further in the chair. Nope. Can't sense it. Apparently, that's a little gift she has. Everyone who has this gift, they have a lot of similarities, but each one has a special gift just for them. This seems to be hers.
Well, guess it's a good thing I kept her around then.
Thus, why we're so interested in her. There are more artifacts like these scattered everywhere, and all of them contain knowledge.
Well, from what you told me and what we were able to figure out on our own, that thing's broken and in pieces. So,
Put the pieces together, and it should work so long as the main device isn't broken.
It's a lot of ifs, considering we haven't found any other bits of it.
True, but what else do we have to go on? The Empire has destroyed everything dealing with old lore, the Jedi, things like that. We're trying to preserve it. My master's trying to bring the Jedi back.
Well, I would say some things are better left in the past, but given as my family's life seems to be at stake in this, I'll do what I can. But this is frustrating as hell for those of us that, well, aren't like you.
Yeah, I can see that. But think of it this way, the Jedi were noble peacekeepers. Bring them back, well, everything you fought for will actually have a purpose. A damn good one, too.
So long as Mom and Dad make it through this. Now, let's go talk to the rest of the crew. I'm looking forward to hitting the bunk.
Alrighty, he hops up, opens the door, and begins to head out to the lounge.
So Desric's going to head towards the lounge, but as he does, he's just going to kind of hit the comms. Hey guys, it's getting late. I don't think we're going to make a whole lot more progress. Let's tag up in the lounge, figure out what we're going to do about tomorrow.
A good amount of time has passed, more than, everyone else doing what they were doing, so where are Rose and Leo right now?
We were going up into
Yeah.
the command room
Okay, so...
to access the train maps that the base would have.
like all the way to the top of the command tower?
I would assume that's where the computers would be held, or at least accessible.
Alright.
I don't know the layout.
Rose does, and she's taking you up the stairs.
Yep.
You're about floor 2 when you get that page from Desert.
Okay, so Leah goes, I currently have a task for myself and Rose. We may be able to patch in via the ship's comms, though, and listen to whatever it is you wish to discuss.
Well, I know you're probably good for a while on whatever battery power systems you have, but the rest of us haven't slept in a long time, especially since the combat, and the crew needs some rest. So, unless the repairs are urgent, it might just be best for all of us to figure out what our plan is and then do it in the morning.
Perhaps, but that isn't this. What I'm currently doing is not related to the repairs.
Um, okay.
This won't
Well,
take long, Desric.
What I
fine.
can do is, instead of doing what I needed to do out here, I can download the base's database and then look through it whilst on the ship.
Wait. Oh, you're in. Okay, command tower. Duh. Your figurines were still in the ship, so I thought you were like climbing over. Never mind.
Oh, yeah.
Fine. Finish up in the command tower and make your way back to the Skylark.
Essentially, what it is that I am doing is I'm trying to get terrain maps for the local area so that we can identify potential locations for the relic's location, so that you aren't wandering aimlessly through a fungal forest.
Okay. And I guess Rose is playing escort duty.
Upon request by Miss Ileana, yes.
No, it makes sense. All right. Just I don't know. Be careful.
That is why Rose is here.
I lead Leo up to the control room. As soon as I get close to the top, I'll get to the top and I start like getting low, like the monster was when I get up.
Leo's still looking at her like, what are you doing?
She says nothing and she's like darting her eyes around, having a look around.
You see nothing.
She's gonna sit down in the middle of the floor. She's gonna sit down in the middle of the floor, gesture for Leo to do his thing, and she wants to reach out into the force ether and try and find out where this artifact could be on this planet.
So
Yeah.
you're just stretching out and kind of going in all
just
directions.
stretching out, having a feel, having a good tickle.
Force die and perception. 1 force die.
Uh, 2.4 and 1 dark.
All right, we'll get to that in a second. Leo.
Yeah, so Leo is going to go kneel down by what looks to be the command terminal, and then he's going to jack into the you know, like how most computers in Star Wars have that one jack area that's
Yeah.
basically universal for like astromechs and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to plug into that.
Give me a quick second here. Sorry, I had to take care of something. Okay, so when you walked into the room, you only noticed that there was like 2 lights from 2 different terminals. There's 2 lights in the room blinking, each one from a different terminal across the room. As you jack into this, there is still a connection, but the power isn't enough to turn on these computers. Plus, there does seem to be a lot of stuff missing. But as you go through, you go into each one of the 2 that is still running. One of them is kind of like a sensor, but it's like sensors, but it's not for detecting, you know, things around the planet. It's for the base itself, and it pops up. You see everything in the base, movement-wise. You even see labels for like what each area is, and just who's there, like life form wise. The other one, it is showing the what would that actually be called? You see the picture a hologram in your head, and it's of the planet, but it's showing the orbital, what's around it in space right now. Nothing on it because it actually does not have any way to detect what's there.
Okay. So there is no database attached to either of these systems then?
This is just as far as you've gotten on these 2 so far. Any further, would have to use computers to kind of act as a way of perception for this stuff.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to start scanning through for it then with computers.
Ooh, triumph.
Okay.
4-1 with a triumph.
Yep. a little bit nervous for this roll, which is why I was holding off the reroll.
So, as you go through, you start with the one with the base. And you pass through that, and it goes into its own database. And it actually, not only does it tell you what everything is and located, it even tells you the storage manifest that it had. And you even find a note in there stating when the planet we're leaving, take this stuff. And it's a lot of like experimental and high-tech stuff, but a lot of the other stuff was more replacement parts, nothing major. But you do see an item that says it states it's still here, and it was replacement for I forget what their bombers were called, but it's replacement engine parts for the bombers.
Y-wings?
Y-wings, yeah.
No, not the Rebel bombers.
Yeah,
Those were
Y-wings.
Clone Wars bombers.
Oh, they were really called Y-wings? I thought they were called something else. Okay,
Just look different.
yeah. You can see all the parts that should still be on the base. And their locations. You pop back to the other map room, and it has... First, it's like the orbital map, but you zoom in, and now it goes to the planetary map, atmospheric, and you keep zooming in for areas. Again, there's no sensors stating what's there, but you realize that it's actually showing the planetary terrain. You keep following this, and you find the digital readout for this whole map we have here.
That is exactly what I wanted.
All right.
So yeah, he's going to turn his head to Rose, though he probably isn't actually looking at her. In like all that he could probably see right now is just just everything is in binary, but automatic process will have him looking at Rose. And he goes, I have found what I was looking for. Now it'll just take some time to analyze the data, find suitable location, which we can do back on the Skylock.
She says nothing.
Yeah, we'll get to your part here in a second. All right, what's Leo do next?
Is it purely geographical, or is there data regarding the plant life? Specifically, does that map have a map of the train with the fungal included?
So basically, for this sector here, it has floral and fauna known in this location.
Yeah, though what I'm more or less saying is the flora included in the map in the respect that does the map display the fungal trees, or is it purely just based on like soil scans?
No, this is actually the first map you saw when you zoomed in. It was just like general scanning, not actually going in deep. But once you get to the next the part that gives you the map for this sector, it gets very detailed. But you quickly realize from the places you've seen, this map is out of date. It was basically 20 years out of date.
No, that works as long as I can remove the floral data so that I purely have like how the terrain would look like without it. That's fine, because that will make finding that temple's location a lot easier. Because the way that I'm thinking is, buildings are usually based on foundations, and foundations usually have a significant impact on the terrain. And as such, I don't need the floral information. I just need how, like, what would look unnatural
Yeah.
compared to everything else that's natural.
Yeah.
So yeah, as long as I've found that out, Leo is going to be unplugging and goes, right, that's all we need. Let's get back to the Skylark.
As you unplug, a feedback hits you. You're kind of pushed back a bit, but you only take a single strain.
Ooh, okay.
All right. So for Rose, you rolled a dark, you said?
Yeah, but I got 2.4.
Okay. All right, I remember exactly what you had. Okay. Basically, as you stretch out, you get the sense of what you've kind of felt from those mutated creatures earlier, but it's not them, it's more of the energies they put off, so to speak. You feel the darkness and the warp, I guess, from it. It is very powerful to the east, but it's subtly there to the west. You don't hear the cackling this time, but you faintly hear that crazy scream. And this one you can actually tell is to the east.
Alrighty. Just gonna be taken aback a little bit. Probably visible to Leo's receptors. It's just gonna stand up, shake her head a little bit, then go to Leo's. You said something?
I have the information that we require. It will be much easier to find the relic at this point, moving forward.
Yeah, I want to have a look at it as well.
We'll do that back on the Skylark, though, because it seems they are awaiting our presence.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good
so
idea.
you're both heading back to the
Let's go.
Skylark?
I lead Leo to the Skylark, just
Okay.
checking for danger and stuff on the way.
The lights do seem to be keeping creatures at bay. That said, during that time, Pith, Desric, Mraz, and Illy have converged in the lounge.
All right. Yeah, Ellie's sat up on a box.
Desric's kind of found a seat by the lounge or by the table.
All right.
Mraz is basically plopped down on the couch.
And Doc's joined us.
Yeah, he's propped up against the wall.
Yeah, Pith and Desric probably know Ellie well enough to recognize her expression. She is very worried, distracted about something.
All right. Well, it's kind of an informal thing here, but after the day we've had and the lack of sleep, everybody could really use some rest. But before we conked out, I just kind of wanted to figure out where we're at. The Skylark's parked. Illy, I don't know what's our situation. What's the plan for tomorrow?
Well, but as good as we're going to get as far as the landing gear's functioning. The engines are the best they can be until we get the parts needed to repair them.
We can't make use of any of the parts we have.
There's not enough functional parts. There's a few key components that they're beyond repair, and there's nothing to replace them with the parts that we have.
Great.
If I can get one engine up and running, I can use that to basically jumpstart the rest. But we need one first.
Yeah, and I don't like the idea of being stuck on this rock indefinitely, especially given the nasties that attacked us. And if Mira's and Rose's senses are to be believed, there's worse out there. A lot worse. Oh, did I mention we passed a Rancor on our way back?
No, you didn't, and I would believe them.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
that Rancor's a bath toy to the other thing out there.
Okay, what's the other thing out there?
Honestly, I don't know. I can hear it, but haven't seen it. I really don't want to.
I'll
Agreed.
second that. But we can't get off here while the ship's crashed, or the engines are still wrecked. Sounds like Leo and Rose want to go get some more information. Hopefully, between Leo and Illy, we can get the ship running again. I'm kind of in favor of getting out of here sooner rather than later. Doc, you said your friend's starport is nearby?
Yeah, it's just a few systems away.
Illy, if we can get off planet, can we make the jump?
The hyperdrive's fine, so yes. But at the end of the day, getting into orbit is the hardest part of the whole matter. We need to get a certain number of engines up and running. One at the very least. But I'd like to get at least half. That way we're not running one engine too hard. And we'd also be wasting fuel under those circumstances.
I hear you.
We are in a repair yard. We can easily take a look in the morning when there's light, and we've had some rest.
Agreed.
That's what I'm thinking is... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say fresh eyes would be a good thing.
Yeah, we could all use the break. Assuming Leo's got enough power, one of us should probably keep watch. I don't like the idea of being ambushed again. And with the base power turned on, there ought to be enough lights to at least keep this area lit.
Agreed.
So, I guess that's it then. We'll wait for Rose and Leo to return. Everybody else rack out. Let's try and get some rest. Be fresh and ready in the morning. Oh, one other matter. Medical attention for both you two. I assume some sleep could do you good, but does anyone need to be, I don't know, keeping an eye on you to make sure you wake up?
I could hook us up to some medical equipment, but we'd have to pretty much sleep in the med bay. I can't
know
put
you had
together
a
another... Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. I know you had a makeshift bed in there before everything got flipped on its head, literally. But we can move some cots in there. I can give you a hand if necessary.
Well, the bed's fine. It's magnetically locked to the base floor. I can move some things around to make a makeshift bed, but it's not going to be comfortable. I'll take that, and Illy can take the medical bed.
Well, let's take one of the mattresses from the bunk so you can at least sleep well. There's should be a few spare. I'll sleep in the cockpit if I have to. I'm used to it.
Alright, fair enough. Just don't kick anything.
In the cockpit? Why would I? Never mind. Right. All right. Let's get you two set up.
Alright.
So I guess we'll go about kind of prepping the med facility while they make their way back to the ship, and hopefully by the time we finish, they arrive.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
All right. Yeah, as we're moving off to do that, and also in the morning, Desric, we need to have a talk.
Why don't I like the sounds of that?
Because you're smart. I don't. You got nothing.
Right. Just your girl's okay, yeah?
She will be. The sooner we find that artifact and get off this planet, the better.
Agreed. Well, then the rest can wait till morning.
All right. Sleep well.
Yeah, you too. Just make sure you wake up. I'm gonna need you in the morning.
Will do.
And so Desric will start to make his way back to the cockpit if he doesn't happen to bump into Rose or Leo on the way.
Well, considering you're probably going this way, yeah, they'll be coming up this ramp. Yeah, you probably will.
Ah, good. You guys are back. Successful trip?
More than
Quite.
successful.
Good. Everybody's racking out. Uh, those of us that don't run on batteries are more or less wiped. I don't know how you're doing for energy, Leo, but I imagine you could use a plug-in. If you wouldn't mind, though, since you are the only one who doesn't require sleep, keeping a modicum of a watch. I don't know how that works for a droid, but I don't know, just stay plugged into the sensors. I'd prefer not to get ambushed again.
That was precisely what I was going to do. But it seems I have located some replacement parts for the engines. Whether or not they get compatible is going to be a different matter. But they might do
What?
it in a pinch.
Leo, that's the best news I've heard in a long time.
I would rein in your optimism. They are the engines of Y-Wings.
Oh. Well, maybe we could at least jury-rig something to get a few of our engines going?
It's possible, but like I said, it's might do to have some caution at least.
Well, given what we've been through today, I'll take what little good news I can get. Rose, everybody else is racked out. You should still have your cot in the cargo room if you want it, or grab a spot
Yes.
in the lounge.
I'll be fine. And she's gonna walk to her room and sit in solitude for the next 8 hours.
I'll be in the cockpit. If at all possible, try not to disturb me, but he always hit me on the intercom. Desric will make his way to the cockpit.
Leo is going to be following after him.
Oh, yeah, I guess it doesn't matter where you plug in. Just if you're gonna keep watch, can we avoid the spinny, scary head thing?
I will be as motionless as this ship.
I'm not sure if that's more comforting or disturbing, Leo.
Usually a bit of both, I found.
Yeah. All right. Well, Lance, come on, breaking my concentration. Okay.
Hashtag sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
Hashtag creeper.
Seriously. That's fine, Leo. I'm just gonna power most of the systems down. Oh, that reminds me. Illy and Pith are hooked up to some medical equipment. if you can keep an eye on that while you're keeping an eye on the ship sensors, I think it should be hooked up into the ship's computers. Oh,
I will
shit.
keep tabs on them.
That means I'm going to have to give you access to the ship's computers. Well,
That is not necessary.
don't tell me you already hacked your way in.
You have not exactly been trained to combat my skills.
Yeah, I guess I was just hoping that it would keep you out.
And
Fine.
I did have to access the computers to deal with the hydraulics earlier.
Fine. Just, can I make a single request, Leo?
You can. I can't exactly stop you.
Well, that's my point. I can't exactly stop you. But next time you have a hunch to send communications to an unknown vessel, could you at least ask first?
Leo remains silent.
I'll take that as a no. Just try not to get us all killed.
He goes, I will try. And from what I understand, humans do not like promises that are bound to be broken.
That's really unsettling, Leo. I think I'm going to go sleep in the lounge. And Desert walks out. I take it I find Miraz out in the lounge.
Yep. He's sleeping on the couch.
There were bunks out in the lounge, weren't there? We've
Yep.
changed models a few times.
Yeah, there were bunks.
All right. So Desert's gonna go collapse into a bunk.
And everybody just goes conk.
Yeah.
Or gonk, depending on your droid nature.
It was all too easy.
Well, with that, it's break time.
Yes.
Righto.
It's another day we're still alive.
Cool.
All right.
Alright, see
be
everybody
back.
in 10 minutes.
Shall do. Okay, Lance is back.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Who are we waiting for?
Tough.
Believe Tough and Overkill.
Yeah.
Alright, so quick message for next Wednesday. I do have a doctor's appointment. Pending, on what all they find and get back from other things. I could be a bit late. Hopefully not, though.
Oh, I have. It might be a little bit tight on my end. I'll have to decide close to the time. But I know I also have a doctor's appointment, but it's for the morning after the session. Which, given the time zones,
Yeah, if we
game
need
ends at like
to,
3. Yeah.
if we need to end a little early, we can always set that up.
Yeah, it might be one of those. Yeah, it might have to be like our session maybe. This appointment is pretty important, so
Understand.
yeah,
Are we talking about today or a different day?
Next week.
next.
Oh, okay. By the way, I'm back.
Yay!
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Has anybody had
Not that it wasn't obvious.
Has anybody had a chance to play the new XCOM 2 DLC?
No, but I did just get the actual game plus all the expansions, so it's something I do plan to tinker with.
Yeah, for those who do have XCOM 2, if you have the War of the Chosen, you have now till December 3rd to get it. You will get the War of the Chosen Tactical Legacy Pack for free. Otherwise, it's like $8. So hopefully it'll come up on sale for some people to grab it. But I haven't got a chance to play it because a lot of the mods I need to play have to be updated.
That is the curse
Awesome.
of games that constantly get updated and break all the mods. RimWorld is one of the games that I play that goes through that cycle of being updated and then it breaks all of the mods.
Yeah, I looked at RimWorld yesterday and it says it's should be 1.0 like this month.
I thought they said November.
Maybe it is November, but it was like really soon.
I know they have been saying it's been really soon since
Oh, they actually gave a date.
July. So if they've got a new date, then I
Yeah,
haven't seen it.
RimWorld
October
1.0 will be
17th,
released
looks
October
like.
17th.
Okay, it's next week then.
Wow, that's soon.
I need to snag it.
I am
It
not
is
going
a
to look at that
great
right
game.
now because I will squirrel really bad if I start reading up on that. Yeah, Wormworld's awesome.
I was given it for free from a friend, but this was back before it was on Steam. It was actually his copy. He was going to let me play it, see if I wanted it, and I never even got to play it.
Oh.
Yeah, since I couldn't play, what is that, X2, I actually kind of started up playing a bit of More Time yesterday night. I missed that game. That game's fun, too. I was debating on at one point doing a series on it, but for what I was attempting to do, I would actually need some viewers to pop up and post some names they wanted to be. I was going to kind of do it like a partial RP opening to kind of explain what happened last session, but I don't have the time anymore. But I'd love to do it once I get some time.
That would be cool, yeah.
Yeah. If I ever get back up recording, I think I'm just going to drop it down to 2. I was going to continue playing Galactic Civilization 3. Unfortunately, my old game, probably not the best idea to do. And for the second game, I was kind of bouncing back and forth between, like, what is it? Oxygen Not Included, and I had an idea for something else. I just can't find it here.
Oxygen Not Included looks like a fun game, or at least the bit that I saw of it when it first came out looked interesting.
Oh, I love it. It's fun. Hard though.
Well, I mean, those sorts of games are. It's like a chaos simulator, isn't it?
Kinda.
In that, like, everything that can and will go wrong goes wrong.
Yeah, and the object is it's more like a survival game. But it's a colony survival. It's clay, for crying out loud.
That's a reference to something I don't know what that is.
Clay is the developers.
Oh, okay.
They're the ones who made Don't Starve, Mark of the Ninja. They made a few other things. I can't remember them all. But it's their graphic style, their humor, and then the way they do like hardcore kind of style games.
Yeah,
they're really good dev team. They're freaking awesome.
Speaking of Don't Starve, I was seeing some guys playing a multiplayer variant of that, where if you died, you get turned into a ghost. Then you hunt down
Don't
the rest
Starve
of the
together.
players. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Tough, you back?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so we're all here.
I'm just eating.
Nom 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 nom.
So I assume we all essentially switch off for the night.
Yep. Switch
Does
off for
this count as a full night's rest?
not a full night, considering how late you stayed up, but recover like half your strain. Obviously, you cannot recover the strain from the strain from the obligation does not count for recovery.
Are we running up or down?
Up.
Well, I only have one that I can get rid of, so I'll get rid of the one.
I still have my 2.
Alrighty. So everybody's passed out at some point in time. Med bay, all the vitals are fine. Nothing really hits on the on what Leo sees. There are some animals that get close, but it's more like out of curiosity, but they don't actually come up to it. But for the most part, it's quite a peaceful night. Day comes. Leo is fully charged. Whether or not you want to wake everyone up or not, it's your call, but it is nice and bright. Nice, bright morning.
Oh yeah, no, he's sending a alarm clock bell in the various rooms by the intercoms.
Bell's
That's not
going
gonna
off.
end well, right?
Say what?
That's not going to end well.
And it's
I
still
was
going.
just thinking something similar. All right, Leo, we're up. Turn that ruckus off.
You hear boots clang on the floor, and then they're walking across. All right, Desert, come on, get up.
I'm up. Where's the calf?
This is
So the alarm would go off in the lounge at least.
Pretty sure it would go off everywhere.
No, I meant like it switches off in the lounge because we've gotten voices from that.
Yeah, Ellie's a bit grumbly, but all right, I'm up.
what the fuck? There's a big audible yell from the cargo bay from Rose.
And so's Rose.
Leo goes, I'm still not impressed with her use of language. And then the rest of the alarms switched off.
The pounding in my head's gone away a bit.
Yeah, mine just started up back up a little bit. We'll manage.
Oh, it only went away because Leo turned the damn alarm off.
All right. I guess let's be about it. Should we even bother trying to track down medical supplies here? I should think they would have been well expired by now.
Yeah, a lot of them would be. I bet even the Bacta probably wouldn't be all that good. That said, he kind of sits up and spins out where his legs are hanging over. I'd rather not get anything from here. Let's just get the components and leave.
All right. Yeah, we're probably far more likely to find useful medical supplies at your friend's station.
So Desric's made his way back to the the engine bay, and back towards the cargo hold that they're using as the medical bay. I see our patient survived the night. Hey, Illy, Leo found something that might be of interest to you.
I did
Engine
not
parts.
have push to talk on. The door is shut when you get up there.
Oh, crap.
Oh, okay.
I guess Desric will knock first.
Yes, come in.
Ah, good. Our patient survived the night. Desric tries to make a joke to lighten things up. No, nothing? Okay. Well then.
Yes.
Yes.
Illy. What is it?
Leo found something that may be of interest to you. He says there's engine parts laying around. Apparently they're for a Y-wing, but you seem to be the master of old tech and retrofitting things. I thought it might be worth a look.
Okay, yeah, she's basically on her feet and starting to move past you. Yes, indeed.
Well,
Where are they?
He didn't tell me where. I was going to go talk to him next, but I thought you might like some good news.
It's definitely a start.
Definitely beats your attempt at humor.
Thanks, Doc. I tried, all right?
We both have a hell of a headache, Desric.
Yeah, fair point. Okay, last I saw Leo, he's in the cockpit. Desric's kind of following Illy, because I'm pretty sure she's like nearly close to sprinting at this point.
Maybe not sprinting, but yeah, she's definitely got a brisk pace.
Zeke, I'm going to have a question for you in PM.
Oh, in PM? Okay. By the way, at this point in time, as you reach the cockpit and look out, Merez is actually outside. You see him kind of doing a patrol. Okay, till that happens, Rose.
I'm gonna make my way saltily to the lounge.
As you get to the lounge, no one is there.
I'm gonna go to the cockpit.
Salty Rose, this is not good.
I'm guessing I see everyone in there.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out. They're probably going to have something done before you get to the cockpit. Or maybe
That's fine.
No, they had a conversation there. So you probably walked out this way as Desert was turning in here. So you probably just missed them.
Yep.
And now they're having a brisk walk there.
That's
So
fine.
as you run into them.
I make a very audible sigh, just. Leo, you suck. I still want to see the maps.
Yes, well, I have sent Zeke a message. So
Yeah, I'm reading it right now. So that deals with your series, correct?
Yeah.
That's kind of your call. If it's in the base model of your series, then you would have it. That said, whatever modifications done to them, whether it's removed it or not, that's your call, not mine.
I'm wondering.
Now, obviously, some of the stuff would probably be lost to your memory and then your respecialization, but again,
What I'm thinking is, do you want me to roll something to activate that programming to like say that I have it, but because I've been rewired and reprogrammed that I just might not have the programming for it.
and what type of roll would that be? Like, what are you rolling?
Intelligence,
Intelligence?
like just based intelligence. So what I'm thinking is kind of like the memory rolls that we had Desiree did before.
Ah.
Just this. Full success. So that was really weird.
You have it, but you're still having a hard time connecting to it, so it flickers from time to time.
Okay. So, as Rose says this and she comes into the cockpit, Leo turns a bit and yeah, a little projector comes from his little square eyepiece within his receptor and a blue hologram appears of the current area, terrain-wise.
Hello. This is
Okay.
Well,
better than
that's
goddamn
new.
clock.
Definitely new, but very cool.
Alrighty. I'm gonna have a look at the map, and I'm gonna look for inconsistencies with what I felt at the tower and what's on the map. If anything correlates, basically.
Like a structure or something.
Yeah, some sort of abnormal structure or
You see no additional
building.
structures or buildings of the sort. That said, you do find in that area an interesting cluster of giant fungal trees.
Alrighty.
Though
Nothing to
whether
the
it's
east that
to the east,
nothing eastwards that look particularly out of the ordinary.
oh yeah, there's definitely something that looks out of the ordinary.
Can I
It's
tell
like
what it is?
it looks like a large patch of the fungus has contorted and almost in itself makes a quotes structure end quotes, but it's fungal and not definitely not what you would classify as a normal structure, but it's something odd, and its location is if I get the right tool. That.
Alrighty. And the one to the left looks just funky looking trees.
Yeah, just like a row of funky
about the
looking
same-
trees. They're actually
in the same just
actually,
down.
yeah, actually right where you had that.
Oh. Cool.
They could be a natural occurrence, but it is definitely worth of note.
So Desric is more interested in ship parts and what's in the local area.
Okay, yeah. So Leo goes, I have the locations for those. They're within the base.
Okay.
Right. Let's
So
take a
then,
look.
yep. Sorry. Go ahead.
So I didn't mean to step on you. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask then what we were looking at the rest of this then, and if there was anything that stood out to you, Leo. I mean, it's kind of hard to see in the hologram, but I don't see anything that looks like the temple we saw at the swamp. Do I? Do I need to make a perception check?
No, there's nothing that looks like the temple.
Is
Okay.
there an abnormally flat area in this map?
With the fungal on, just the battlefield areas. Just gonna have like flat, then, you know.
I'm removing the fungal data.
Alright. The spot over here, it has an odd flat, kind of leading almost path-like, then ending abruptly at the edge of a mountain. And that's the only real part. And it's kind of between those tall trees. Over here, it's all awkward as hell.
Okay. When you say it stops abruptly at a mountain, does it look like that? And this would be the mountain part. And this is the ground. Does it end like that?
Oh, kind of like a steep incline.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like it's a path that goes up to a brick wall.
Yes, it's something like that.
Yeah, kind of like that. Except
Okay.
the brick wall is a mountain.
Yeah. Basically, what I'm thinking it might be is a tunnel.
Yep.
That wouldn't be necessarily detectable by a terrain map, and like it goes into, and then maybe the fungal has overgrown it. So yeah, Leo's looking to Rose and going, that may be a location that you need to visit.
She looks at it, and that you've said it. She's give me a moment. And she's just like inspecting the area to the east a little bit more carefully.
So without the fungus on there, what you see is multiple height levels of terrain changing. In this particular area, it's like low here, then high, kind of high, again some low parts. If you kind of could see a bit more to it, it's almost like different levels of a structure. But this is not... It's definitely not natural, but it's not an actual structure. It's the planet itself as if it was contorted to create a structure.
Billy's kind of watching Rose examine the hologram and looking between the two of them.
She's like, she looks sort of in awe at that the western area, and chuckles a little bit.
What is it?
I think that might be what I'm looking for.
Clarify, are you looking to the east where
West.
Miraz?
The west.
Okay, so she's not looking at the thing that Miraz warned Desric not to go to.
Yeah. No, she's
Okay.
looking at the west first.
Okay. Sorry, guys, one sec.
Speaking of Miraz, where is he?
Like I
He
said,
was
you
outside
saw him
from the ship.
outside from the ship doing what looks like a patrol.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, Rose, I will copy this into the ship's database. You can access it whenever you need to. If you need to study
Thank
it
you.
more. And I will state that this map is out of date. The systems have been offline for almost 20 years. And as such, any information regarding the fungal levels will have changed dramatically.
Gotcha.
Ah, good to know. Well, since you have the location of those those engine components, I recommend we hit those up first.
Absolutely. I also got a detailed map of the base. We might have found some locations that you didn't visit during the night. One other thing to mention is I did find a manifest that will largely have been removed when the Republic left, but there may be some other pieces of information and gear that hasn't been taken.
Well, let's look around. Anything we can find that's useful for ourselves or to salvage and sell off is a good investment. Although, if we don't get the engines running, we may want to leave the ship lighter than usual.
Well, if we don't have engines, it won't matter whether she's light, but I'll take a look at what we have. If there's anything I can adapt to our systems, I'll get it done. We're not staying here.
Agreed. As much as this place would make a lovely vacation home, I want off this rock.
Did we bring the missiles with us from the
No, they're
No.
still in the back.
battlefield? Ah, okay. Never mind. I had a crazy idea for a moment there, but
So
no,
in
that's a
other
very bad
words,
idea.
there's potential credits back there or another weapon back there. Your call on them.
Yeah, for a split second, I had the mental idea of attaching the missiles to an engine part of Y-wing. That's a really bad idea.
Yes, it is.
Turn a missile into a freaking torpedo.
Yeah.
All right. What do you do now?
Yeah, Leo's going to spend a moment to just download the map that he has into the ship's database.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Right.
need a copy of that on my data pad.
And
Now-
then he's going to head.
I missed part of the
Yeah.
exchange due to a phone call, but did Rose mention anything about her
Nope.
second objective?
Nope. Nope.
Okay. All right.
You know, it stands to reason if we have any extra of the Y-wing thrusters, we could potentially attach it to the sled and make a makeshift speeder.
Maybe.
You want to put spacecraft thrusters on a industrial hover lifter.
If we put a limiter on it and make sure it goes slower than space, it could work.
Oh, it's definitely going to go slower in space because it's atmosphere. You have drag, but also because it has atmosphere with the drag, it's not very aerodynamic.
It doesn't need to be aerodynamic. It's
was
more
gonna say,
saving us traipsing across. Go on.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking some people in certain circles might consider such a thing to be overkill.
Just had to, didn't you?
Yep.
I mean, we could go down the route of it being, a husky-drawn sleigh, but we don't have any huskies. So, a single thruster that's limited down to certain speeds. Even if it's just at a snail's pace, it'll be good because we're going to have to be walking miles to these places, and that's not necessarily a good idea.
Well, we could certainly keep an eye out for any kind of speeders or vehicles, partially functional or otherwise. And yeah, priority, at least for Ellie, is definitely the engines, but we can certainly
Yeah.
keep an eye out for anything that could help us in this as far as making our way around the planet.
Leo just doesn't want to put the Skylark in any more danger than it needs to be in. Because from
Agreed.
the looks of these maps, there's probably not an awful lot of places to land.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Hover has much more chances of being able to fit in between the fungal trees than a big ship.
Well, I still think we should start with the engine components. If we really can make it work, maybe we can get the Skylark airborne.
Yes.
Even if we can't, we'll be looking through the base during the day. We're bound to see more than we could have at night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let's get started.
All right. Leo, can you send me the coordinates for the engines you found?
Yes. Yes, I can.
Thank you. I'll go check them out and see what's functional.
I would take the fusion cutter with you, just in case we need to cut into any of the locks.
All
This
right.
is a military role.
All right, will do.
I will go and check some of the other portions of the base that we might not have looked into quite well.
All right, that sounds like a plan.
Actually, I'll check the generator. We need to make sure how much life's left in it.
All right.
Desric and Rose.
Desert's plan is to follow Illy around and grab any useful engine components to bring them back.
Rose is gonna probably just inspect the map more, just to get a possible feel of what is around the area of these two marks, and see what's up.
All right. For those who are leaving the ship, put your tokens outside, please.
Okay. Ellie's going to follow behind Desric and just on the way back, or on the way by Rose, just lightly whisper, "You should tell them." And she'll continue on her way.
So, Rose, just brush it off.
Oh, sorry, I missed it.
Ellie, on the way past, was just quietly whispering that you should tell them. And if
Oh,
she
yeah,
didn't
she's ignoring
respond,
that.
Ellie wasn't. Okay. Ah, it's a shame. Okay. Haley almost looks disappointed, but she doesn't press. She continues on down the ramp.
All right. So I guess did Leo give you the exact coordinates of the engines?
Yes. Yes, you would have.
All right. So the two of you make your way to those engines. The area is open. It seems to be just went through quickly, taking out some useful parts, something that was heavy or light and quick to get out. And you get into the back, and there are a total of 7 Y-wing engines.
Well, if these can be don't know what the right word is, but modified to fit, there's certainly quite a few of them.
Indeed. Frankly, we should bring them all back. But yes, this is perfect. I can make this work.
All right, I guess I'll go get the lift from the cargo bay and start bringing them. I'm guessing we're going to need some help.
If you can bring the lift, that ought to be enough.
Right. Okay, I'll be back. Desric runs off to go get the lift.
Don't run into anything.
Desric might have just tripped over something.
And Leo, what were you doing again?
Checking on the generator to make sure we have, fuel.
Okay. You do make your way over there, and as you check it, generator can last about a week.
Yeah, so he opens the comms and goes, running at, wait, is that, when we say a week, is this base power during the day or during the night? So I assume we use more power during the night.
Well, the lights were left on, and not a lot of the systems are in use right now. The only thing really running are just the lights.
Okay. So yeah, over the comms, this is to the party comms, so everyone's gonna hear this. Here goes. We have a week's power left on the generator before we run out. If we keep using the same amount of power that we did throughout the past day or so. Though that will change if we start using more of the heavy equipment.
True. Certainly don't plan for us to be here a week.
Of course. But it is something to think about.
Noted. We can
Agreed.
power. Sorry, go.
I would also suggest that we see about securing this area. We don't want some of the local wildlife to get in here and smash up the generator whilst we're using it for protection. I'm going to see about door locking mechanisms, see how well those work.
Alright, sounds like a plan.
If I remember right, that's the door. Was it that door or the security room door that Desric hacked but only got it like halfway open?
I don't recall. There was this. So Desric did get the security door open.
Oh wait. This door wasn't able to move because there was no power and had to be manually opened.
But now there is power.
Yes. And the door is actually now moving left and right as you go through.
Okay. So, Yeah, he's going to code in some security into that. Basically putting on like an easy passcode so that everybody else can get a hold of it, but it, anything that isn't, short of the party in terms of intelligence won't be able to get in. Or if they do, they're going to have to bash the door in. If that would even work.
Okay, it's set up.
Okay.
No
And
need to
then
really
he's
roll
gonna-
since you're making it a simple password.
Yeah. And then he's gonna head off to look around the other areas of the base that the others haven't informed him as to whether they've been there or not.
Yeah, you also have the manifest about where everything is, so any particular thing you're looking for, or just going around randomly looking?
Actually, one of the things that I was looking for, because I mentioned it in the chat earlier, was emergency supplies. So, breathing masks, crash survival kits, that sort of stuff.
Okay. Roll a perception, and since you have the manifest, we're gonna make it a little easy.
Okay, I'm gonna flip a destiny point to upgrade my roll. So I'm gonna have another dice. Two advantage is something, so 1.3.
Yep. Alright. So, we'll talk about what all you find here in a bit, but, Ileana, Desert's left to go get the industrial lift. And not long after that, you hear Boots kind of walking through.
Yeah, she'll turn toward the boots and see who it is.
Merez seems to be walking around, just keeping a lookout. He notices you and waves. Figured someone ought to do a quick patrol.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So, did we find anything good?
Well, I haven't done a full assessment of the engines, but I figure that could wait until we've got them near the ship. Certainly potential. If even one of these things is working, I can use them to get the other engines up and running.
You
But the
found
more the better.
engines, huh? Huh. That
It
was a lucky
actually
find.
Leo. Indeed. Rez,
Hmm.
I haven't really had a chance to talk to you about, well, about Hidden Fortune. And I've probably fair to say I've made a few assumptions that I shouldn't have.
This one, he
Exactly.
kind of turns towards you and just kind of starts walking in.
What exactly happened?
With Jade or with others? Something else?
With Jade? With the people you were with?
Well, there were three of us. We first went there to see if we couldn't find where she hidden it. That didn't quite work, so when she came back from setting up a meeting with a contact, I decided to pay her a little visit. Started off with her taking a blaster to me, so yeah, I had to kind of get that out of the way. Made her an offer, even had the credits in her face. 500,000 credits for that little piece. She wouldn't take it. Don't know what's for. I'll admit, I tried to be a bit aggressive, but I didn't hurt her, no, beyond disarming her. That's when the other two lost control. Believe me, I kept telling them to stop, but I don't have control over them.
I thought you were their leader of sorts.
Yeah, the of sorts part is what comes in. The only person who could really force anyone to stop is vengeance. But the way our groups work, because we're all used to being alone, surviving alone, this whole new relying on someone else, it's new to everyone. Think of me more as a coordinator. I lead them to an objective or to something that may or may not be helpful. But beyond that, I don't control them. And it's not due to position, it's more due to the fact that they're used to being on their own, and even if I tell them one thing, unless I violently attack them, even that could backfire. They're not going to listen.
That does present a problem.
Yeah.
From what I understand, you're hoping to establish some sort of new Jedi Order or something?
Vengeance is. He wants to bring back the Peacekeepers of the Galaxy. And then people like our friend, or my friends, probably won't be part of it. Because they can't seem to get past the whole, we don't need to take extreme measures to survive. And that's all they know and all they care to do is survive in any way possible.
What do you want?
Well, I'm no Jedi, I can tell you that. I just want to live. Live and let live.
I see. Well, I've learned a few things about Jade. It's not really something that needs to be discussed right now, but needless to say, I misjudged her. So I'm willing to go on faith that I've also misjudged you.
And as I stated, it would be good for everyone here to meet Vengeance. His name's misleading. He's actually quite the nice guy. Just almost always sad. Doesn't really talk about himself much.
Well, maybe we will get the chance, but for now there's a fairly long list ahead of us. I need to know that. I suppose I should. Look, I don't know quite how else to say this, so don't take it the wrong way. I don't expect you would interfere with what we're trying to do, with getting these parts to get my daughter back.
Nope.
But if any of your friends do, if there's any way you can tell us that they're coming, we'll need to know. We'll need as much lead time as we can get.
Well, the fact that we're grabbing this part and taking it to the businessman, putting them both together, is a boon for us. Remember, the businessman did betray us. So, at this point, we can be patient. You get your daughter, your friends out of harm's way, well away, and then we'll make our move.
Have you given any thought to what I was saying before about businessmen being as unable to stop anything as you were?
A little. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's got his reasons as well. But, well, business tends to be business. Definitely his employer, whoever that was. Wait, didn't I say Merez actually knew who that was?
I believe so, yeah. He knew about the Quarren.
Okay. So, definitely his boss is going to pay the price. Whether or not the businessman gets a piece of it, that's up to Vengeance. He's the one who dealt with them.
I suppose in the end, I just want to make sure that the guilty parties are the only ones being punished.
You do realize the exchange is all guilty, no matter where they are. Drugs, trafficking of slaves, all kinds of stuff.
We're not so innocent ourselves, silly, as Desric returns. I mean, when you think about it.
Maybe, but no one here is as bad as the exchange.
Desric just kind of shrugs. Well, if you include our activities with Doge, we may have had good intentions, but a lot of people got hurt or killed along the way. And I'm pretty sure the Empire's put bounties out on all of us.
Well, that's a whole other problem I'd rather not think about right now.
Well, it's going to be a real problem for me because my family's all back in the core.
If you need a place to hide out and plan.
I get a feeling my uncle's doing all the planning. At the moment, I need a ship that's space-worthy. And Desric motions to the engines. I don't suppose you want to give us a hand with this?
Sure. How many engines do you want on that thing?
All of them.
What, they all fit?
If you stack them just right, yeah. It'd be kind of like 2 rows. An incomplete 2-row, but...
I wasn't quite sure how big these were.
They're quite large, but so is the industrial lifter.
Okay. Yeah, maybe we'll find something to strap them down once they're stacked on there.
It does have a tractor beam on it. It's used for lifting and holding.
Okay. We didn't mention this when we were trying to carry the armor plates. Never mind.
No. That one was a smaller one. This one's the big industrial one. The ones that they use to lift the Skylark.
Yeah, this is
Oh! Right then. Never mind. Yeah, let's load them on there. Or more accurately, Desric will stand back and let Miraz do it.
Well, if you want to let him do it and use his force powers, or you can use the actual. Well, you probably don't have the ability to use it, but I'm pretty sure Illy could. The tractor beam.
Tractor beam?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well then, if there's...
Haley will give it a try.
Okay. She may not have used anything as heavy as this, but she's definitely had to have used the tractor beam, at least on her ship, to pull in some cargo from time to time.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably a safe bet. I don't know what that would fall under.
Well, you're not hacking anything, even though you are using a computer. That said, it's more like moving things around, kind of like... We're going to call it a mechanics check.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
It just seems right to me. It may be a computer, but there's like a big difference between hacking something and playing a game, for instance.
So I was thinking
True.
it was more along the lines of piloting, but okay.
Well, if it's
Yeah,
mechanics to
but you're not
successful
actually
advantage.
flying itself. You're just,
Well, no.
yeah. Uh,
Yeah, if it was a piloting thing, Desric should be making the roll.
I was going to say piloting planetary because it's kind of like
Yeah, but it
operating
doesn't
a
quite
vehicle.
make sense for Desric to know how to use this.
No.
But
Yeah.
Which is
Here,
why
Leo,
I
you
was-
try.
which is why I suggested mechanics roll. Well, the one of the reasons. Either way,
what about a coordination check?
You don't want Illy doing a coordination check.
no, that wouldn't be coordination either. Unless she's lifting a ton of them and they're are trying to grab a lot of things and they're just spinning around everywhere.
I was just thinking, since you said you had to stack them carefully.
Yeah, but she can put that into the thing. Like just point
All right,
where she
yeah,
wants it,
however.
and yeah. So you end up the tractor beam goes over all 7 and you're selecting the points on them and it ticks them up one by one, sets them down. The process does it quick. You got all 7 stacked up. It tells you, all the weight and other loadout readings and all that stuff up, but everything's set up. It's ready to go.
All right, I think we're about as good as we're going to get.
Alrighty then, let's get these back on board.
Alright, you make your way back, and we're going to head over to Leo. Leo, during your searches, you do find some of the equipment you're looking for. You do find a few masks. You find enough masks for 3 people. You find only a single rebreather. I don't know what type of crash equipment you could be looking for, honestly.
There's stuff like say you crash land on a planet. Sometimes planes and stuff will have like survival kits in there, so it'll be like,
A survival kit.
ways of cleaning. Yeah, ways of cleaning water, like rope, flares, that sort of stuff.
There's no flares, but there's definitely some rope. There's a grapple hook in there. There are filtration systems for water. In one of the areas you find.
Cool.
But you do stumble across a blaster rifle. It seems
Ooh.
buried and forgotten, but it's a clone blaster rifle, one of the big ones.
Oh boy. How heavy is this thing?
Honestly, I do not know. I'm going to try to compare it with something because I don't actually think there are actual cards for this.
It really
It's just a long.
depends on what
If it's a
you're
long
looking for.
blast, if it's one of those long blaster rifles, then it should be fine.
Okay, I'm seeing something close enough to it with an encumbrance of 7.
Oof, okay. Probably should have grabbed the grav left from the Skylark.
And no, Lance.
Aw.
Speaking of which, you said you added new sounds in here?
Yes. A couple. Didn't
Oh, I
get
see
all
'em.
of the changes that we were talking about, but yeah.
Okay, so having seen this blaster, uh, uh, I was going to say that might happen in a second. After having a look at this blaster rifle for a sec, he's going to see whether he can do a quick maintenance check over it to see whether it's still in functioning order.
Functioning, yes. It could probably do with a bit of cleaning out, as this may cause issues when firing, but the power cell is completely drained.
Okay. So, yeah, he's going to take that out, have a look at it over, and he's going to part it near the doorway, and then he's going to go and try and find the lifter from the ship. So I can bring it.
The one from the Skylark?
Yeah, the smaller one.
Okay.
Because if Desric is using one of the bigger ones outside, I assume that the other one that we have is still in there.
Well, there were two large ones at this base, but the Skylark actually had a smaller one for itself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the small one's still in the forward cargo bay with all the armor plates that are strapped down.
Yep. That said,
Oh, is it still attached to that lifter?
no, they're
no,
on
no.
they're in the cargo bay, but they're not on the
okay.
lifter. The lifter's in the cargo bay. That said, by the time you get back to the Skylark, you're seeing Illy Desm Mrez carting the 7 engines. You basically arrive around the same time.
He's gonna have a look as he passes and goes, they look fine. I have a little bit of a concern as to how they're going to be compatible with the Skylark's systems. I'm gonna have to reprogram everything.
They do seem quite a bit dusty.
Well, we'll see. It's mostly the components that I need. Might not be as bad as all that, but find a way to make it work.
Well, look at it this way. You've got several attempts here.
Yes, and if we haven't found all of the leaks, I believe I have found a backup.
Backup what?
Well, for you, I found some masks that you can use to, keep that air in your lungs.
Oh, right. Well, we should check to see if there's any welding equipment. We got all those armor plates from that walker in the graveyard. We ought to maybe see about patching any holes.
Yes, we should.
Alright, do you two mind working on that? I'll get to work on these.
Sure. You do remember what happened last time Leo and I were in close proximity and a welder was involved, right?
No, I remember what happened when a fusion cutter was involved. I expect that this will work out better.
Right.
Speaking
Dibs on the
of-
welding mask.
Speaking of dangerous activities, do we have a spare blaster pack handy?
Blaster pack.
Not that I know of. Why?
I found a clone rifle.
Well, any spares I have are for my blaster pistols. They won't exactly fit a rifle.
Then it'll have to be some sort of trophy.
Well.
Or parts, or sold.
There's plenty of other salvage here too. Who knows, maybe there's a spare pack lying around.
Possibly.
If Alas fails, I could see about adapting the fusion cutter pack.
Did you check the armory in the tower?
I was about to say, I know there was some ammo found.
There was a whole bandolier worth that Leah, when Rose took them out of that bandolier that she.
Yeah, but Leo doesn't know that.
I thought there was none in the bandolier.
Oh no, there were. It was a full clip of 10.
Oh shit! I still have that on my person.
No, you took the
Well,
you took the ammo out because it was old.
Yeah. Yeah, Desric warned you that it was old and might not be stable, so you took it out before you took the bandolier.
Oh yeah.
But Desric is going to recall this because Desric had just asked Leo if he checked the armor. He's like, I'm pretty sure Rose left a bunch of spare clips in there from that bandolier she found.
When I go back with the lift, I'll endeavor to go back in there and find them.
Right. Okay. Well, I guess we're headed back. Oh, well, we're already back at the ship, aren't we? You said that when we. All right. Well, let's get these aboard, and we'll see about getting some of those plates up to patch up the ship.
All right. I don't know about the feasibility of actually fitting a wiring engine inside the ship.
Well, we can take it around back.
But yeah,
I don't
bits and
really.
pieces.
For the sake of time, may I recommend we 80s style montage this
Montage.
and make some rolls to get the ship
Montage.
prepared?
Yeah, there will definitely be some rolls, but I was just gonna glaze over this pretty quick. Really, since it's Illy mostly doing it, what was Leo doing again? What?
Shifting the gear around that I found, grabbing the extra reloads, coming back, and then starting on the armor plating.
Okay, so yeah, you'll need to do a mechanics roll. Illy need to do a mechanics roll, but Illy first.
Wow.
Oh, nice. So 4 success, 2 advantage, and a triumph. So modified 5 success.
Okay. So as you get into the engine parts, you realize, and from what you've seen from the engines, and the fact that it's a friggin' YT, they're customizable as hell, and they can take all sorts of universal parts. This actually has quite a bit of parts that you could use. However, it'll take 5 engines worth to fix up all the engines with everything you need to get off and keep going. That said, there are some parts missing, so the ship's speed will be degraded by 1 until full repair.
That is good enough. So yeah, that's
It'll take 4 hours by yourself.
okay. I think having discovered that, she's probably like beyond focused on getting this done right now. So yeah, she's just working away.
Alright, so Leo went to go grab the parts with the thing, come back. Desric? What was Desric doing?
Desric was gonna go start getting some of the plates from the forward cargo and seal up any holes in the ship's armor.
Oh, so you were going to assist Leo.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I guess.
I thought
Who's
Leo
going-
was going to do some armor welding.
Yeah, I guess I'm assisting Leo.
That is right, Leo, correct?
Yeah.
Alright, what is your mechanic skill?
Mine, crapola.
So no rank, it's Jonas is going to receive a blue.
Which did nothing. However, that's still a good roll.
It's the same roll as Lance did, but without the triumph.
So a 5-2. Okay. So Leo, you go out, you retrieve the stuff that you were going to grab. with using the I don't know, the hover trolley for from the Skylark. You come back, you got the stuff, and then you get to work on welding. Desric's helping you out. You do find a welder, by the way. I mean, you find quite a few welders of different sizes. There's all kinds of equipment still here. Granted, it's all old, but still works. Still quite capable. So, go ahead.
I was going to say, partway through this welding process, Leo was going to turn and look at Desric partway through welding and going, with the amount of alternate parts from different models of ships, the Skylark could be considered an ugly right now.
Wait, could be considered a what?
An
ugly.
Wow. Good job.
Desric just... Well, actually, no, Leo can't see it because Desric's got a welding mask on, so... he's glaring at him from behind the welding mask.
And then Leo's going to continue back on.
Alright, so you do manage to get a lot of the plating back on. The armor as well. The front cargo bay is now safe when in space. You get quite a few of the other places. The patchwork on the engines, you flush out the damage did by the boulder and a few other shots. The antenna is still shot. Nothing you can do about that. It's still there, but it's pretty much flat against the hull right now. That said, you do manage to fix the turret. The top turret. It now works. That took some time, though. The welding part is going to take about hour 45 minutes. Good welders, and most of the stuff is just bring it over, flop, zit, bring it over, flop, zit, pretty much. But the parts like near the engine and the turret, you actually do have to move some things around, wires and whatnot, and set some parts before you can get to it. That'll take 2 hours and 15 minutes ish.
Okay, so once we're sort of finished with the welding on the top of the ship, and I'm fairly sure that we've sealed the hole, Leo is going to come to Rose.
It's just past noon, by the way.
Is Rose in the cockpit?
Yes.
Okay. Rose, can you pressurize the interior of the Skylark?
How?
Okay, so get into the pilot seat.
Just jump into the seat.
Co-pilot seat. The pilot
Jumps
seat is
into the seat.
mine.
The pilot seat
She
then.
jumps into the pilot seat.
Okay.
Damn it.
Oh, this is
Where
comfy.
she is.
Desric, you don't know.
In
Desric's
front
head-
of you there is a screen, and there should be an automatic program for flight checks. In that menu, there should be a pressurize option.
Okay.
Press
She's
it
just gonna,
on
like-
the doors.
She's going to try and attempt to press the buttons because she has no idea what the fuck's going on or how she's doing this.
It's a simple task, and Leo was walking you through it.
Okay, simple.
Yeah.
Good, that's fine. All right. I do the things and I hit.
I'm about to say you're
pressurize
gonna know
stuff.
basic stuff on a starship. Maybe not so well enough to fly it, but enough to make sure shit's sealed. So the outside door's shut, the vents close, and it pressurizes. Everything looks good.
How does it look, Rose? Are any warnings coming up?
No.
Okay then. Press depressurize. Should be on the lower left.
Yeah, she presses it.
You hear the hiss of air going back to their tanks as the vents open.
Yeah, and Leo looks over to Desric and he goes, it seems we have the pressurization fixed as well as the entrance into the turrets.
Awesome. Shame we didn't fix the comm antenna. I wonder if we could scavenge any of the comms equipment. That tower had an awful lot of it. We need at least short-range comms to be able to dock with the starport.
It's very true. The only thing
Leo,
that I
this
would...
chair is rather comfy.
He stops for a moment and goes, I would advise you do not allow our captain to see that.
Oh, I can deal with it.
And then he goes back to Desric and goes, whilst I would agree and our situation is requiring the comm array, if we take it, we won't be able to replace it. Meaning, if we ever need future use of this base, it won't have a comm antenna. Now, whilst we aren't planning to come back here, there is something to be said about having a forgotten base out in the Outer Rim that no one else but us is aware of.
I see your point. Any chance we can just do minor repairs? I mean, even if we don't have the whole dish, I mean, it's obvious it's crushed beyond any salvaging, but at least short-range comms?
We could probably fix something, and if nothing else, short range is short range. We might be able to figure something out, at least.
Short range might not need that antenna. Honestly, I'd be keen going without it. We can easily get the parts to fix it properly once we get to the station.
I'm just thinking, are we going to be able to contact the station to get a docking bay to even... Like, if we don't have any comms, how are we supposed to even get a docking bay?
If we get close enough, we can use...
Well,
The
I think
comms.
normal comms reach at least 50 kilometers. Right? So I would be able to patch our comms through the ship systems, and we could use those.
And the wrist-mounted ones that Illy and Des have reach 75 kilometers.
So you have a decent amount of range in terms of comms. Though it might look somewhat suspicious if we don't answer long-range hails.
Now, until they get close enough to take a look at the antenna. Should make it pretty obvious.
All right, well, I guess we'll just have to make do. But two working turrets and the hull plating restored is a really good first start. Illy, how'd you make out with the engines?
I suppose, depending on how you think of it, I made out like something of a bandit. We're up and running. Mantis testing.
All of them?
All of them.
Damn. Alrighty. Desric is headed back to the cockpit.
Might I suggest you pressurize the fuel lines first. Let's make sure we don't have any more leaks.
Oh, no. I am double and triple checking the pre-flight checklist.
All right. I'll be outside.
Oh, Leo. Oh, never mind. I was going to recommend that Illy be inside in the engine bay and then Leo be outside doing like a walk around as Desric's like testing everything, but I don't care how it...
So, yeah.
So that's how you want to do it.
whoever, wherever people are. I don't know where Leo is at this exact moment. I thought he was outside the ship already.
He was on top of the ship, yeah.
So Desric will make his way to the cockpit. Leo, why don't you hop down and prepare to do a walk around while I'm pressurizing the fuel lines, make sure nothing's leaking. And Illy, can you monitor things from the engine bay?
All right, I'm on it.
I'm in position. Well,
So when Desric gets to the cockpit, is Rose still in his chair?
Yeah, she's looking at the map. Still in the chair.
Desric's going to walk in and clear his throat.
Hello.
You're in my spot.
Just gonna slowly turn around. Never mind. She's just gonna get up and leave.
Thank you.
Ellie gives Mrez a nod and then heads back into the ship.
He just follows and hops into the lounge.
Alrighty. Well, let's see about getting this started. Ready, Illy?
Ready as will ever be.
Leo, you all set out there?
Indeed.
Okay, so I guess at this point we start making some dice rolls. Desric wants to do a series of pre-flight checklists, checking all his stabilizers, checking engines, pressurizing the fuel lines, not necessarily turning anything on, but just making sure all the hydraulics and electronics are responding. Are you muted, Zeke?
Sorry, there was some stuff going on outside. What's up?
So we are ready to begin our series of pre-flight checklist activities. So Leo is outside, and Illy is in the engine bay. They're both kind of feeding Desric information as he starts doing the checklist. So he doesn't actually want to power on the engines just yet. He's checking all of his electronics and hydraulics, making sure all of his control surfaces, all of his stabilizers are functioning, and then he wants to pressurize the fuel lines and start just cycling the engines on and off, kind of one at a time.
Your control panel is fine. It has been reprogrammed to basic from binary. The power systems are looking okay. You do see some parts in there that states will work, but warning. Or caution in this case. You see a sketch of the engines. They're currently at minimal power, just they'd be able to, receive commands and whatnot, but not do anything. You're getting some green lights from them, but there are some yellow areas on the display. As you pump the fuel in, everything seems just fine, no leaks or anything, but you're down to like a quarter fuel.
Okay. Mental note. Need to fill up at the starport. Do I need to make any rolls or additional checks?
Nope, because everything right now will be based on mechanics and the work they've already done.
Okay, copy that.
So now it's all based on everyone's rolls.
All right. Desert's going to come over the comms. Everything looks shipshape up here. Before we go flying off on another adventure, let's make sure we wrap up our business here at the base. Anything we want to bring or bring on board or scavenge, let's get that wrapped up, and then let's talk about where we're headed next. I think there was a point of interest off to the west we wanted to go check out.
I believe so.
So, Leo, why don't you come back aboard and let's discuss what our next move is? Because now that we have a operable starship, we should actually use it.
Judging from the terrain mapping data that we had, I'm not entirely sure that you're going to be able to land there.
We could potentially scout it. I mean, we can try your, I don't know, hover cart idea, but super sketch. By the way, how many engines in repairing the Skylark's
5
engines?
of the 7.
Okay.
We do have a couple left over.
Could always use to sell those for spare parts. We're a little short on cash if we want to make any additional repairs at the starport.
Well, okay,
Okay, hold on a second, guys. I'm having some issues with the stream, it seems.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, your ping's terrible. You jumped to 999s for a second there.
Yep, looks like.
Yeah, Cable One has been doing upgrades in my area, and that's been going AWOL.
Honestly, we're not at a bad stopping point if we want to take a break here and then kind of strategize what to do for next session.
Yeah.
Just getting the Skylark repaired was a major milestone so that we can actually go do stuff.
Yeah, it'd probably be a good idea to end it here. Hopefully, it gets up enough. Is it even, like, doing anything on Twitch or YouTube?
From what I can see, I see them both offline.
Yeah.
Like, full-on offline?
Yeah. Live stream offline on YouTube and nothing on Twitch.
Oh, so we're done anyways.
Yeah. We could either record a 10-minute segment or, just... Yep, Twitch machine got unplugged.
Twitch machine got unplugged? What is that?
That's exactly what their error message says. The Twitch machine got unplugged. Try again in a moment.
Well, I'm back up to something high, but it's like too high for what the thing can do, and it's still flashing red. I guess I'll just throw it in the chat. But
oh wait, YouTube might be up again.
Possibly.
Now it's back in the greens. Attention, chat. If everything's going good now, can someone just pop it in and say, hey, we're green? Because it looked like it was janky for a while.
Yeah, we're back up now.
Back up now?
Yeah.
Back up on YouTube. Twitch still looks like nada.
I see your comment on YouTube. There's no comments on Twitch at the moment. Okay. I see your comment there.
Okay. I'm still not seeing anything as far as the video feed.
But it is streaming on YouTube.
Might just want to wrap it up.
Yeah, that's basically what I was going to do. But I was kind of wanting both sides to hear that in. If it's not popping up on Twitch, I guess to my YouTubers, because the internet issues here, I'm assuming it's my ISP doing updates, upgrades, and whatnot in my area. We're going to call this episode a little short, and it sounds like next Wednesday is going to be a little short as well. I do so apologize about that. Hopefully things get better and Cable One gets their shit together. Nothing I can do. It is definitely ISP, and I do so apologize. But thanks everyone so much for watching. I will see you next time. By the way, this stream's going to stay up so I can actually chat to Twitch real quick.
Oh, okay, I was just gonna type something up, but yeah, all right, you got it. Well, that was a sadly abrupt end.
Yes, unfortunately.
Well,
What happened?
it's bad, but